Have you ever felt like your entire business hinges on finding that one perfect hire, the unicorn that can juggle a dozen roles, wear lots of hats, fix every problem, bring in systems, and basically read your mind? It's a frustrating cycle, right? You're constantly on the hunt, but even when you land one, you're still stuck in firefighting mode, exhausted, and business is not scaling. Now imagine this. Imagine your business runs like a machine without you. Predictable, it's resilient, it's built to last, even if somebody quits tomorrow. Hey, my name is Todd Dawalt. This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast from Construction Leading Edge, where we are all about systematizing your construction business to maximize freedom, impact, and wealth. And today on the show, we're tackling a hard question. What if that unicorn employee that you're hunting for is actually the biggest risk to your business? To help us break that down, we're going to dive into the World War II story of Sherman tanks and how a radical shift in thinking turned them from handcrafted, slow chaos into scalable production machines that ultimately turned the tide in World War II. In this episode, you can look forward to learning a few things. Number one, why hiring unicorns might be making your business more fragile. Number two, how to think about designing roles, not just fill seats. And number three, the power of documented systems that keep things running even when you're not around. And here's the twist. What if the very thing that you think makes your business unique is the thing that's actually holding it back? So if you're ready to stop chasing unicorns and start building a more of a Sherman tank type business, stick around for this episode of the Construction Leading Edge podcast. So let me guess, maybe you've been telling yourself things like this: if I could just find the right project manager, the right estimator, the right operations director, then things would smooth out. Or I need somebody who can think on their feet, they can wear a dozen hats and just get stuff done. Maybe you've thought there's nobody out there who gets it. Nobody who's going to take ownership. Nobody wants to work anymore. You're like the old grandpa. These kids today, they don't want to work anymore. You're constantly hunting for unicorns. So you believe that there's this mythical employee out there that's experienced, adaptable, and they're able to manage the chaos without handholding. Maybe you're hoping you can clone yourself. And your business, maybe it's built around these unicorns, or worse, maybe you've been designing your business around people, personality, heroics. Your business is based on people being heroic, their availability, instead of around the outcomes that you actually want. You're stuck trying to wrap a business around the people that are in front of you. That's why you feel stuck. That's why it doesn't scale. And that's why you're always pulled into firefighting, because of the way your business is designed. Here's the hard truth about unicorns. The reality is unicorns aren't a solution. They're a single point of failure. And that may sound shocking, because if you've been looking for that unicorn employee and you've been pinning all of your hopes, if I could just find this one person, then all of my problems will be solved. You're looking for somebody like Pedro on Napoleon Dynamite who said, "Vote for me and all of your dreams will come true." Well, the reality is those unicorn employees, they probably don't even exist. They probably won't be successful for you. And if you do land one, they're likely a single point of failure. So even if you do find that dream project manager, estimator, operations director, what happens when they leave? If you wrap your business around them, what happens if they show up and the systems aren't there to support them and they get frustrated, they burn out? Or maybe worse, what if they hold you hostage because they know the whole system depends on them? So you think hiring a unicorn will save you, but what if hiring one just creates a new way to fail? And what if the real issue is not who's in the seat, but it's how the seat is designed? Let me say that again. What if your real issue isn't who is in the seat, in that project manager seat, estimator seat, superintendent seat, director of operations seat, but what if it's how the seat is designed? So think about a couple of questions. Is your business designed around unicorns, or is it designed around average people? Does your business depend on people being unicorns, being heroes, and having years of experience? Or is it designed around average people, where average people can succeed? Think about this. What are the single points of failure in your business? The single points of failure. These would be if something were to happen to a person, the whole thing would shut down. There's no redundancy. There's no backup plan. That's a single point of failure. Think about this. Is your business designed to fail without you? In other words, is your business unintentionally designed to fail without you? Are you the biggest single point of failure in your business? One way to find out is if you try to go away. If you try to turn it off when you go home at night and you can't, when you try to go away for a vacation and you can't get away, that is an indication that your business is designed to fail without you. You are an integral part of your machine. You're not on the outside of the machine and pulling the levers. You are inside the machine. You're a cog in the machine. So if you are the single point of failure in your business, it's not just exhausting. It's not just the reason that you're working 50, 60, 70 hours a week. It's risky. It's unscalable. I talk to a lot of people every week who tell me, I just can't work any more hours. The business can't grow. The only way the business can grow is if I work more hours, and I just can't do that. It's not sustainable. It makes your business really fragile because it's all dependent on you. And if something happens to you, your business will fail. Imagine that you have a team in place that delivers predictable results without you needing to chase them down, babysit them, ask for updates, and remind them what to do. Imagine that each role in your business is clear. Everybody knows exactly what winning looks like. You have clearly defined lanes of accountability. Nothing's falling through the cracks. You don't have people stepping on each other's toes, duplicating efforts. It's clear. Imagine when someone does quit or they go on maternity leave or they get promoted, you can plug in a replacement with minimal disruption. Imagine that your business is more modular instead of specialized. It's more modular instead of based on the special snowflake syndrome, meaning you have specialized roles, documented systems, defined outcomes. Your project managers all operate the same. Your estimators operate the same. Your foreman operates the same. It's more plug and play rather than something that's handcrafted and unique. Imagine that you can take a vacation. We could step away, go away for a week or two at a time, and the business runs without you. Imagine that you can scale the business. You could step into growth mode because you have the confidence that your machine can handle it without you. And then if you've had 40 or 50 or 60 birthdays, you may be thinking about selling your business someday. If you ever want to sell, your business is only valuable to a buyer if it runs without you. So what an investor, what a buyer is looking for is a business that doesn't run on tribal knowledge, doesn't run on unicorns, and it doesn't depend on you. They're looking for a business that depends on average people. So that's not a dream. That's what happens when you stop hunting for unicorns and you start building systems that run on average people. Now, I can read your mind. Some of you are thinking a couple of things already. You're thinking, you know what? My business is just too complex. My business is too unique. It just won't work for me. There's no way I can systematize my business. In other words, some of these people, not you, of course, actually, this is not you. There are other people because you would never do this. They would say, I'm a special snowflake. And those people would say, I'm different. My situation, my business is unique. We are building specific projects in a specific zip code, and our customers are so different, and our trades are so different, and our projects are all so different, so unique, it won't work, so I'm not even going to try. So essentially, they're letting themselves off the hook from even trying to put systems in place by saying, it's just not going to work for me because I'm a special snowflake, so I'm not even going to try. So if they do try, then they built this safety net for failure. They're half committed, they halfway implement, and then they say, see, I knew it wouldn't work. I knew these systems wouldn't work for me because my business is so special. I'm a special snowflake. That's what some people do. There's another thing that I hear that, not you, of course, but other people say. They say things like, well, I have to be involved in the business. If I step away, if I don't have my hands on every part of the business, it all falls apart. The customers need to talk to me. The trades need to talk to me. My crews need to see me every day. If I step away, it all falls apart. I have to be involved in every part of the business. And on the surface, that sounds like they have high standards. It sounds responsible. It sounds like they care about their people and they care about their customers. But in reality, they become the bottleneck for decisions and approvals and problem solving. In reality, it prevents leaders on their team from ever fully owning outcomes, and it slows things down and actually drives away A players who really want to take ownership. And it puts a damper, a governor on the business because the business can only grow at the speed of this person's attention. The owner who says, I have to be involved, I can't step away or it will all fall apart, is putting a lid on the growth of the organization. So if you think about it like software, there's a bug in their software that says, if I'm not involved, things will fall apart. But the reality is, if things fall apart without you, that's not proof that they're needed. It's proof that their business is designed to fail without them. Let me say that again. The bug in the software is, quote, if I'm not needed, things will fall apart. But the truth is, if things fall apart without them, that's not the proof that they're needed. It's proof that the business is designed to fail without them. We'll get back to the show in a minute, but let me ask you a question real quick. Are you a construction business owner who's stuck working in your business instead of working on it? Do you find yourself caught in the day-to-day grind, answering all the questions, putting out all the fires, struggling to step away because everything seems to depend on you? If that sounds familiar, I want to invite you to watch my free video masterclass, Get Out of Your Construction Business, How to Make It Run Without You, this year. In this free training, you're going to learn a few things: how to get out of the hidden trap that you're probably stuck in that's causing all the chaos. The second thing you'll learn is the forgotten step in every project that's going to help you cut out 80% of the profit bleeds and schedule delays. You'll learn the key steps to be able to delegate effectively, to delegate results to your team so they can handle things without you. Basically, how to build a business that runs smoothly and more profitably without you. Imagine having the freedom to focus your time on high-value work, to be able to take time off, or to be able to grow your business confidently without being stuck in daily chaos. That's what this masterclass is all about. So if you're ready to get out of the day-to-day chaos and firefighting and take your business to the next level, click the link in the show notes to watch my free masterclass now. Get out of your construction business, how to make it run without you. All right, let's get back to the show. So how do we solve this? What do we do about this? Well, we have to go back to 1941. All right, 1941, America was about to enter the largest war in human history. We needed tanks fast. But the problem was the Sherman tank at that time in 1941 took over 300 hours to build. Each tank took 300 hours to build. Each one was slightly different. They were built by master craftsmen, climbing inside the hull, welding it all by hand. It was artisan work. It was craftsman work. It was all a little different, and it was unsustainable. Wasn't going to produce the number of tanks that we needed for the war. There was also a problem because every tank was a little different. They couldn't interchange parts. So a turret from a tank built in California would not fit on a tank that was built in another part of the country. So everything was just a little unique. They were a little bit special. So enter William Knudsen, who was from General Motors. And he brought this mindset shift that changed everything. So his mindset shift was, instead of relying on unicorn welders, people who had 15 or 20 years of experience, Knudsen and his team asked, what would it take if we designed these tanks for mass production? What would it take? This is one of my favorite questions. So they shifted from building tanks like art projects where everyone was a little different to designing them more like Model T cars. They used the mass production approach from the automotive industry. And here's how that shift applies to your business, right? So step one in your business is to ask this question. This is the first step. Will you design your business around people, or will you design your business around results? The first step is to decide, will you design your business around people, or will you design your business around results? Knudsen's first move was to stop relying on craftsmen, and he said, let's decide the outcome that we want, which was a tank that can be built fast, at scale, with consistent quality and interchangeable parts, no matter where they were built from. And that's your first step too, is to stop building your business around personalities, around people who are currently have their butts in seats in your business. Stop tweaking processes to fit people. Design the business around the result that you want, and then build your structure backwards from there. So when I talk about results, I'm talking about profitability. Well, three words, really: freedom, impact, and wealth. If you want to talk about results, these are three big words that we focus on. What sort of freedom do you want this business to create for you? What sort of impact do you want your business to have on people in your family and in your company and in your community? And then wealth. If you're going to spend 10, 20, 30, 40 years building a business, it should generate some wealth for you. So think about the results that you want and then work backwards from there. This is what I call right to left thinking. If you had a piece of paper, you would go out to the right side of the page and get really clear on the results that you want this business to create for you 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, maybe it's just 12 months down the road. And then you work backwards. You work from right to left and ask the question, what would it take to make that happen? And then you begin to design your business to create the results you want, as opposed to just looking at the people whose butts are sitting in the seats that you have and saying, how can we wrap a business around these people? So the first step is to decide, will you design your business around people or will you design it around the results that you want it to produce? The second step is to break down your operation into clearly defined roles. So going back to 1941, tank manufacturers looked at the Sherman tank and they split it up into 5 sub-assemblies: the floor, the sides, the front, the rear, and the engine deck. And each part was built using jigs or templates to ensure alignment. And then instead of welding it, they bolted the connections together. So they took away the need for these specialized welders and they figured out how to bolt these sub-assemblies together. And the results, well, the tank that used to take 300 hours to assemble using specialized welders now took less than 10 hours. So from 300 hours to 10 hours. And it was by using the modular design approach. Instead of each tank hull being its own project that was all a little different and that all had to be built by one person throughout, they modularized it. They broke it into 5 sub-assemblies. And your business needs the same modular approach. You need to strip down bloated job descriptions that require unicorns, let's be honest. You need to create focused, specialized roles with very narrow scopes. Create specialists. Instead of having somebody that has to be good at everything, you need to create specialists. And one of the best ways to do that is to separate pre-construction from construction. Okay, this is one of the things I see the most that's missing in so many businesses is a project goes directly from sales to operations. And then the operations team has to do all of these pre-construction, what should be pre-construction activities. And it's the root cause of a lot of the problems. So my best advice, and what we've seen to be very successful with our clients, is to create a pre-construction phase and have a process for pre-construction and then have somebody who's dedicated to pre-construction, to setting up these projects for success. There's a pre-construction deficiency in most businesses. When you focus on the pre-construction phase, which I call the secret profit phase, then your projects go faster. So break up pre-construction from construction, create specialists. And when you do this, when you have clearly defined roles and you narrow the scope of work that each person has to be good at, it makes it easier to hire people. It makes it much easier to train them, and it makes them much easier to replace. Therefore, it's easier to scale the business. So break down your operation into clearly defined roles. Think modular. Break it up. Instead of the 3 musketeers where we're all for one for all, and everybody sort of does a little bit of everything, divide up those responsibilities so you don't have people stepping on each other's toes and you don't have things slipping through the cracks. Step number 3, once you've broken up and clearly defined roles, make it really clear what winning looks like. So step 3 is to define what winning looks like for each role. So going back to the Sherman tank, the manufacturers broke down the turret machining process, which was very extensive. They broke it down into 23 micro tasks. Instead of saying, hey, go machine this turret, use your 20 years of experience to machine this turret and then just make it work, they broke it into 23 micro tasks, each of which could be taught in under a week. And then they had specialists that were good at just a few of those micro tasks. And over 99% of turrets passed inspection. Why was that? Because success was defined in black and white, and people were trained on very specific micro tasks. No guesswork. It wasn't based on experience, just execution. So what this means for you is you need scoreboards, you need checklists, you need metrics, you need clarity. Don't just delegate tasks. You don't want to be the genius with 1,000 helpers. You need to be able to delegate outcomes and clearly define what winning looks like for your team. So if you want to learn more about how to define what winning looks like, go listen to episode 410 of the Construction Leading Edge podcast, where I talk about the Moneyball approach for construction businesses. That's episode 410. So step 3 is to clearly define what winning looks like. Step 4 is to create a "this is how we do it" playbook. The Sherman production system created this very extensive manual that says this is how we build Sherman tanks. No matter the factory, every part matched. So turrets from Michigan fit hulls from California. Once the war started over in Europe, the crews could confidently replace very simply, which allowed them to get tanks back up and running back into the battle very quickly because they were modular and interchangeable. They had interchangeable parts. And here's the other thing. Because of these things we've talked about, because they broke things down into micro tasks and they had specialists, they made it easy to train people. They had this workforce of 200,000 people building tanks. Most of them were unskilled. They were not welders. These were unskilled people who didn't have experience building tanks, men, women, teenagers, retirees. They were trained in a matter of days or weeks instead of requiring years of experience, and they crushed their performance targets, not because they were amazing craftsmen, not because they had decades of experience building tanks, but because the system was amazing. There was a system designed to produce exceptional results with average people. There was a system that was designed to produce exceptional results with average people. And your business needs the same. You need to design your business in a way that it will produce exceptional results with average people. That is the secret to success, is to design your business to succeed with average people instead of unicorns. So your business needs the same thing that the Sherman tank manufacturing effort needed back in World War II. Documented playbooks that said, this is how we do it. Checklists, templates, clearly defined roles and responsibilities, a strategic blueprint for your business. You need a blueprint of how you're going to build your business and a process to follow. This is how you make your business sustainable, so it's less dependent on you. This is how you make your business scalable. This is how you make your business sellable. So if you ever want to sell your business, this is what an investor is looking for. If you ever want to be able to step away from your business, this is what you need to do. If you want to make your business more sustainable, so you're working a normal work week, so it will run more without you, this is what you need. So here's the truth. Your business isn't about assembling a dream team. It's about designing a machine that runs no matter who's in the seat. Okay, you don't need the dream team of Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, like the 1992 dream team. That's not your job. You don't have to be, I think it was Chuck Daly who was the coach of the dream team. You're not trying to win the Olympics here. You don't need to assemble a dream team. You need a system that produces exceptional results with average people, normal people. This is how businesses grow profitably, not by chasing down unicorns. You don't need to find the best project manager in your market or in the country. You don't need to chase down the best estimator. What you need is a system that produces exceptional results with average people. So if you want to help designing your business that way, one that runs on systems and not on unicorns, then schedule a business evaluation call with my team. Stick around for a minute for more details on that. So I'll leave you with this. You don't need unicorn employees. Unicorn employees can actually be a risk to your business. You need a business that is designed to run without unicorns. What you need is a business that runs on systems. You need a system that produces exceptional results with average people. And it's possible. We've seen this with our clients. It can be done, and we are here to help. So stick around for a few minutes if you want to learn how to set up a call with my team. Again, I'm Todd Dawalt from constructionleadingedge.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Hey, it's Todd. Before you go, if you own a construction business and you know you need to put the right systems in place, whether it's to be able to scale up, to be able to take a proper vacation, step away from day-to-day operations, if you know you need to make it more profitable, or even prepare it for a future sale, if you know you need to make some changes in your business, there are really only three options. I want to clarify this for you. Option one is do nothing. Keep doing the status quo. Same inputs, same results. Keep doing the same thing that you've been doing. Option 2 is to DIY it, to do it yourself. You can try to reinvent the wheel, piece together solutions from books and podcasts, hope that trial and error gets you where you want to go. In my experience, this is the path of most resistance. Or there's option 3, which is to find a proven system that delivers the results you're looking for. Think about it. Sort of like when you sign up for software for project management or bookkeeping, you probably didn't try to code your own software, right? You found a system that works. So that's a proven system that gets you the results you're looking for. Well, if you're ready to systematize your construction business, we've helped hundreds of construction business owners implement our proven processes, including our nail the handoff pre-construction system that works for home builders, remodelers, commercial general contractors, and trade contractors like electricians, plumbers, roofers. The first step is simple. Schedule a free business evaluation call with my team. Just click the link in the show notes to book your call. On that call, you'll walk away with clarity on the hidden root causes of your biggest challenges. You'll learn about the pitfalls that you want to avoid as you move forward with your business, and you'll walk away with a customized roadmap that you can follow to get where you want to go. This is not a sales pitch, okay? There's no pressure. We may not even talk about working together. You may not even hear about our program. This is all about evaluating your business. It's going to be the most valuable hour that you've spent working on your business in a long time. So don't wait. Click the link in the show notes to book your free business evaluation call now. And the last thing, if you've been enjoying this podcast and getting value out of it, I've got a quick favor to ask. Could you take a moment and leave a 5-star rating and maybe a short review on the platform that you're listening or watching on? It really helps the podcast grow. It lets other people know what to expect. Plus, I love to hear your feedback. It means a lot to me. Thanks so much. My name is Todd Dawalt from constructionleadingedge.com, and I'll catch you on the next episode.